everybody. I've had a request to go through my 100 days project book so far because people are wanting to see the flow. So I'm gonna try my best. It gets a little harder, you're not going to be able to see all the pages together at once because the camera won't span that space. It's going to take up a lot of space, but you'll be able to see maybe 3 or 4 pages at a time. So I thought I would go through and maybe explain some of the process. I don't know, we'll see. Week 1 is going to be hard for me to remember probably what my thought process was. I know when I started the project, I knew I wanted to keep it simple because 100 days, that's a lot of time. And I knew in order for me to have any chance to stick with it, I had to make it easy and not too time consuming. The first week went so easy. It was so great. Everything just flowed. The second week, I think the first 2 days were great, and the last have been very trying. And I'm not sick of the challenge or anything yet. It's just, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. Nothing was working on a couple of the days. But I'm not giving up. There's nothing in me that wants to give up yet, so that's not even a thought. So to keep it simple, I use, I haven't made gel prints for this. I'm pulling gel prints that I have because God knows I have plenty. And I'm just ripping them. Sometimes I'm cutting them. And this is from some papers that I have just stamped with homemade stamps and stuff like that, and added some watercolor. So this, I let it drip naturally over here, and then I made it come down, and then I just thought I'd work with that. And so again, it just, I have to move some stuff out of my way here. It just, this day then turned into this. And if I'm being honest, this was done kind of the same time as this piece here. I mean, as you can tell, because it's glued underneath. So with this being here, it already gave me a start for the next day. And I kind of like it when that happens. I like having the things spill onto the next page because then I'm forced to use it. And it also more or less guarantees the flow is gonna just, it's gonna keep going. And some days, they look quite simple. But when you're looking at them like this, you can see why it is so simple. So this was all, this was cut from just homemade collage papers. This is a hand-carved stamp that I used. And this is just watercolor doing its thing. And what's funny, this piece here, I tore a piece of paper from, I don't know if this is gel printed paper or it was some kind of paper that was laying around anyways with paint and marker on it. And I tore it thinking I was actually going to use the paper itself. But when I put the paper down, I wasn't quite digging it. But it inspired me to do this. And for that, I just used this Lyra. Sorry if I'm not saying it right. It's a graphite crayon. and it's water reactive, so I just use that to loosely draw it out. So you can see, as simple as this was, like if you look at it flowing together, it works. And so then that made this page very simple as well. Like this page was incredibly simple if you look at it by itself. And then that page. But like I said, when you see it flowing, it all makes sense. Again, gel printed papers, and on those gel printed papers I could see some like very, I hate using this word because I don't normally use it, but I'm so sick of hearing it. Very organic square shapes. Sorry for those that use it all the time, but I'm tired of that word. And then I just continued it on with some doodles to run off of the gel print. And then again, it continued on. This piece of paper I glued on this day and this day. So again, it helps with the flow. Maybe that's why I'm struggling lately, because I'm not having a piece go over the 2 pages. I'll have to see if that's what's happening. So again, I brought this color. Like I'm also trying to, as I'm doing the days, make sure I'm not keeping everything up high or down low. So you see we're going high and then we come down, and I'm making my way up. And then it's coming down again. But I use some more of that paper to bring it up. And this, I just cut some, I had a piece of black cardstock, so I cut some strips. And this was from, I thought it was from cutting something else, but I don't see it. Okay. Never mind. Unless I cut, oh, I think I had cut this and I was going to use it for something. I put that around it and I didn't end up using this, but I used that. I think that's how it went. And this is just paper from some book. And then more watercolor, and this is gel printed paper. So I really like how these flow. Again, so simple, but they flow so well. And I really like this. And again, this was just, like I have a sheet of paper with a bunch of, it's just like a paintbrush. And I painted circles on it. And I just tore them out. And I very loosely drew around them and then added some stitching, which is cool because whatever day is when I'm using the other side, I have to work with this and incorporate it into my day. This one here is one of my favorites. I don't know. I have a thing for circles, so maybe that's why. And I do love this color, so. But I had to be careful that I wasn't using too many circles. Like, I don't want to use a circle on every single page. I mean, don't want to do the same thing over and over again. But, so then I thought to continue. So this one I actually did stop, like this continued onto the next page, but when I worked on this one, it didn't flow onto the other page. I stopped it there. But to make it look like it kept going, I added a piece of book paper to finish the circle. And then there's this, which I was really scared about when I did it. Like, I don't know. It made me nervous that it was just going to be total crap. But I don't know. Like, it's different from everything else, but it works. So again, up, down, keeping it low. And the quote I added here because, you know, I had done that and it was like so simple and the watercolor wasn't working the way I wanted it to. And so I just wrote, it may not be perfect, but I did it and it is done. And then just continued with it for this page, and to bring it up again, this piece was just lying on the table. Like, I haven't been throwing out my scraps unless they're really tiny. Like when I'm ripping this out, if there's a piece that comes off around it, I just leave it on the desk because I may use it on another day. The only way, I'm going to say the only way I'll throw something out is if it's this small, but here lies this little piece of paper on my desk. So, so this just fit around here nicely and it worked. And then I had this piece of black cardstock that was actually already cut out too, I think. Yeah, because that's the inside of this. When I cut that out, that's the inside. So maybe that's the link I was thinking of. And then I just did some doodling and let the watercolor flow, and it's flowing back down. So you can see how this is working together. Like I said, it's very hard to show the flow, but I hope it's okay. So then I let that cascade down and then just added some, I punched out some circles from gel print paper. I have this little EK Success punch. It's a 1/2 inch one. And then this little tiny, probably from a dollar store or something, little tiny circle punch. Probably close to the same size of a hole as you would for those old-fashioned punches for punching holes to put paper in a binder. So this one, I struggled so hard, so hard with this one. This is the one that no matter what I did, it didn't look good. And it got to a point where I just said, I have to stop because I'm just going to keep making it worse and worse. And so I stopped. This is my least favorite page so far. Some people like it. Like, it's not awful. Like, if I look at it on its own, I like it. Like, just looking at that and not paying attention to anything else in the book, I actually like it. I just don't like it with everything else. And so again, this is like another individual page, and I think this is why I'm not liking things so far. Like, this page threw me off, and this strip is continuing onto this page, and this is gel print, and this is gel print, so I have that going. I'm not super fond of how this is going up and then this is going up. I think that's too copycat, even though they're completely different. So I don't want to be doing that. Like, I want it to flow more instead of, you know, the same thing. This is the page I did today that I'll be posting tomorrow. So I'm getting back into letting it flow. So I did this page yesterday, And I did these, it's Zentangles, but they're in like a leaf shape. So then I thought, well, because the quote continues on, and the quote says, "Some of the greater poetry is revealing to the reader." Okay, hold on. "Some of the greatest poetry is revealing to the reader the beauty in something that was so simple you had taken it for granted." Sorry if you can hear the footsteps. So with that quote continuing on, I thought I would also continue a leaf-like thing, so it was making sense. And so I did these, and then again, Zentangles. I added a little bit of a pattern in here as well with the pen, but very little. Like, I didn't want it to be like all Zentangles again, so I just added a little bit so it kind of made sense and flowed in that way. So it's like leaves on a branch, and then there's like some on the ground. And so then I'll have tomorrow, I will continue here. I'm really liking this. I'm looking up in the camera and I really like how it looks. So hopefully, I feel like when I did this, I feel like, okay, I'm coming back. So I hope I am, and I think I've noticed by going through this book with you is that it really helps to have something that links the pages together, that, you know, overlaps both pages. So I think that's a good key. So I'm going to try and do a slow movement. It's not going to be very graceful, I'm sure, but hopefully it'll help. And that'll be all. I'm also trying to keep the colors limited. Ah. Yeah, accordion books are a little difficult to show. I love that last page, which makes me happy, because hopefully that means it will all be back. That flow will return. So we are this far in the book. I still have all these pages, and then when I get to the last page on this side, it'll be flipped and it'll start this way. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I don't know if I'll do that every week or every 2 weeks. We'll see, but I will do it again for you. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks so much for stopping by. Let me know if you like my videos by leaving me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also head over to my Instagram account and say hi to me over there. If you have any video requests, leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do. And don't forget to check out my other videos.